Hello, this is the Yarn Closet in Tucson, Arizona. I'm Yarn Closet AZ on Instagram and Ravelry. This is a crocheted finished object. Few minutes in between finishing up some work this morning, moving some things for some people, and because we have the big truck and the big trailer. And waiting on the grocery delivery and grandma dropping off the kids. These kids are so darn lucky. Best grandparents ever. They took them rock climbing, to an indoor rock climbing thing. This is a knitting podcast if you're new, and we give out prizes every month, sometimes twice a month. There is a Patreon for the Yarn Closet, and once we have more subscribers there, then we will be doing more giveaways. I would love every podcast to have a giveaway. We have a shipping sponsor, and we have Growly Bear Soap Company from Arizona with natural products that sponsors our prizes and giveaways. In every giveaway, you get either a hat tube or a sock tube cranked on a circular knitting machine, or possibly both, and other trinkets. Braille stitch markers, possibly a handmade wooden cup from my husband, he's a woodworker, or a crochet hook with a one-of-a-kind wooden handle. I started this 9 months ago with encouragement from my son as a way to really give an example to the kids. They struggle in this day and age with friendships. And my thing is, I learned growing up, if you want a friend, you have to be a friend sometimes first. And since I'm legally blind and housebound, friendships have been difficult for me to be an example for my kids, because I'm just home most of the time. So this is a great way to be an example of the friendships I'm making now online. And there is validity to these online friendships. And in our happy little corner, we have a number of people who have struggled with illness, their own situations of being housebound, and dealing with life's challenges. And I say, let's deal with it together. Let's build support and community and friendships. So most of the time we talk knitting socks and shawls and sweaters, Sweater 2019, but I've just had to go back to some of my crochet roots to have some just fun and mass accomplishment, because I was able to crank this thing out in less than 2 weeks, and it has got more acreage size than the last shawl I did, which was very slow going, and if I had kind of condensed it more, probably took me 6 weeks of knitting in the same way that I crocheted this in 2 weeks. So I will show you. It is a simple granny square. So I am 5'4". It is a simple granny square. 3 granny squares seamed together in the middle and then continued. Okay. It is, I would say it's 5'2", 5 feet 2 inches on the longest edge. It is rectangular. I wanted it to be rectangular. And then it's not quite my wingspan, so 38 to 40 inches probably wide. A variety of different acrylics. I did the pops of white in the middle and then the black on the edging, because I knew I wasn't going to do any kind of fancy edging. It's for a single older gentleman who's been a bit of a mentor to our 24-year-old son. And when it comes to my crochet, a lot of times I do it in acrylic because it's more washable. Much of the crochet I do is the blankets or purses, so you want them to be washable. And so I do it in the acrylic or the cotton. And I just look with what I have and work with what I have. This year, I'm making a valiant effort to do that in many aspects of our life. Because I did just recently quit my part-time job. So we're going to make an effort. But honestly, it's been such a benefit that those little tweaks are absolutely worth it. The kids are doing better in both their school environments. My husband is much happier. People have commented on that. And I feel like I'm being a better support to all of them. So the other thing this motivated me to do is possibly one of my sweaters from Sweater 2019 will be crocheted. I have noticed some issues in my shoulder that I was noticing a couple of years ago when I started to transition into knitting. When I found out about continental knitting and I was able to really pick it up. But oh my gosh, you know, I just love it, and I really, really hope that the recipient likes it. It's already been washed and dried once. I don't really block. Even a lot of my knitting I don't really block. But I like things that are washer dryer friendly. Ooh, he's getting a Dunkin' Donuts bag. And I'm getting a co-post. Did it scare you? Did it scare you? Okay. So that is for Doug, and that is my finished object. And today I'm going to try to finish out my March socks. I'm making a sock from a cranked sock tube every month this year to really grow my wool sock. I love the wool socks, especially with the tile floors here and how cold they get. I don't know. I hope you loved it. It was basically 2 worsted weights held together with an 8mm hook, and the gray and the black were really more of a DK, a sport / DK. So there's a little bit of difference, and I was concerned about that when I was crocheting it up. However, I knew that that was also the difference in how the yarns were presented. The Red Heart versus the Lion brand. The Red Heart was just harder, but once it was washed and dried, they have a very similar drape. They feel very, very similar. And I just loved it. It was so fun and easy, except for this. And I'm working on that. I'm working on doing some chair yoga for neck and shoulders. And oh boy, I can tell. A lot of times when you work stuff like that, you'll have one spot, but then as you work to release those tension points, you'll actually reactivate some older points. I was a massage therapist years ago. So sometimes along the muscle, we'll get a point right in the middle where there's a knot. But if we don't deal with it, pretty soon we get a knot in the middle of this half, and then pretty soon in that half. And some of those knots kind of go dormant because they stop being the most critical, the newest, the tightest. And so then as we start to release them, we start to feel actually a little bit worse. But know that that's just the start of your road, and you really will be better in the long run. So keep at it. I'm a big proponent of chair workouts, chair stretches, chair yoga, any kind of activity, even just massaging your own extremities, to get a little bit more blood flow, and that's all it is. I mean, this is it. It doesn't have to be crazy. That really will help you with a whole number of things. I'm feeling, I've kind of gotten away from that, and I've really made an effort since the new year to focus back in on doing some of these things for myself and realize when I'm doing it, this is a moment for me. Just this is a moment for me. My wrists that are often just a little tingly right here, just a little tight, that this is a moment for me, and it will make it feel better. And I also feel at that moment, I feel like, oh wow, I do have some muscle in my arms. And try to recognize that, because we're all very hard on ourselves. So let's all look with our heart first, not our eyes. And have a great day and share some of your accomplishments. We do have a group on Ravelry. It's not hugely active, but we do like to share our finished objects and have a little friendly chatter. Thank you.